those were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl.
Hi friends, welcome back to our homestead. If you're new here, my name is Lynn. Welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back and welcome to my kitchen. I do a lot of filming in my kitchen. The kitchen is really one of my favorite rooms to be in, and I've said this before, my love language, especially for my family, is baking and just cooking. And during the holidays, believe it or not, we kind of got out of it a bit because of a lot of illness, mainly with me. So we kind of started our pantry challenge a little bit early in December because we ate a lot of things that I either had some freezer meals, and I'm very grateful for past me for making those, or I had a lot of canned meals. So sometime in the coming weeks, I need to find some time. I definitely need to do some more winter canning to put some more of those things back on the shelves. But today's video is going to start off week 2 of the pantry challenge, day 6, as I'm going to be doing this by days, not necessarily weeks, but this is the start of week 2 for us. And today we're going to be making beef stew, and one of my favorites, and it is cold here in our part of the world. Like, we have gotten cold. We're also due to have period long hours of freezing rain starting in the next hour or so, supposedly. I'm hoping we don't lose the power, though I can run the slow cooker, because that's what we are using today, on my little, if you see it right there, my little small generator that I have. So, and it's fully charged. We've got water ready as we are on a pump, and when the power goes out, the pump doesn't work unless we hook up our giant generator, which if it's out long enough, we will. But I do have some water ready, and everything else is charged, and we're just praying. It's supposed to be some accumulation. I hate the ice storms. I hate them. I'd rather have snow any day. But anyway, if something happens, I can still keep making supper tonight. We're also going to be making bread. Not sourdough bread, as my starter needed some more love this morning. I just fed it again the same way I did yesterday. I measured out, I think 40 grams I did again, which was almost all of it, and added the same amount of flour, added a little bit of water till I got the consistency I needed. It was so runny and thin this morning. It definitely needed more love. I will tell you, sourdough in the winter, at least in my part of the world, is harder. We don't keep our house at like 80 degrees. It's usually set on 70 Fahrenheit or 20-ish Celsius, and sometimes that's not warm enough for the sourdough starter. I do try to keep it in the oven overnight with just the light on. That tends to make it warm enough. Honestly, I think it gets too warm, and I think that's what happened last night. So we are going to be making normal bread with yeast, and we're going to be using fresh milled flour. So we'll be getting to that in a few minutes. As I said, we're going to be making beef stew, and I'm happy to be making beef stew because not only is it one of our favorites, and like I said, it's cold, but I'm finally going to start using up some of these Epicure packets that I have had, almost embarrassed to say, for way too long. I can't even remember. I have not bought anything from Epicure in years. I mean, years. Maybe 2022 might have been the last time I bought something. There's no expiration date that I can see on here. I've looked everywhere. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna use the whole packet, but this is great because I am completely out of freeze-dried beef broth and even canned beef broth. That's another thing I need to get myself motivated to make and get on the shelf. So this kind of help replace not having beef broth. First, I'm just going to brown a little bit my stew beef. Picked this up a couple weeks ago and froze it. It was 30% off because it was 2 days from expiry. That's what I love to buy. If I buy any meat from the grocery store, that's what I look for, because I can just bring it home and freeze it right away. I didn't realize it was strips. I thought for some reason, I remembered them being cubed, but that's okay. I'm just gonna cut them up with my kitchen shears, brown them a little bit, throw them into the slow cooker with half of this and a little bit of water. I'm not adding any vegetables right now. This is just to kind of make the beef tender and everything, because I'm going to be using frozen vegetables, and they'll be absolute mush, like pureed by the end of the day if I were to put them in now, because that's what I have. I don't have any fresh carrots. I do have fresh potatoes, but I'm not a huge fan of potatoes in my stew. I know that's awful. I probably will put a couple in because David does like them. I know I'm going to put, but I will do that probably in about 3 or 4 hours because I find they don't take as long, and I'll cut them up small. So, okay, we're gonna get frying the beef first. About my new slow cooker, the cord is insanely short. I find that a problem with a lot of them, so I'm limited, so I had to bring it back over to this counter so I wouldn't be stretching the cord. So that has started, and like I said, I will put a couple of cut up potatoes. I'll do those around lunchtime, throw them in, let them cook for the next 4 or 5 hours, and then the last half hour I'll throw in some of my frozen vegetables. Okay, now we're on to the bread. I also have my avocado finishing up in the freeze dryer. Truth be told, it would have been done a long ago. It was actually getting close to being done. I shouldn't say that. Around 11 o'clock last night, yes, I was up late. Late for me anyway. It still had, it's so hard to tell by that strip, but I'd say it had maybe 3 more hours, maybe 4, which still would have been the wee hours of the morning. So I just set it to go a little bit longer, which is no big deal. So it's definitely done. I'm gonna let it finish. It still has like an hour and 20 some minutes. At least that'll let me get my bread started, and then we can go get the avocado. First, I have to mill some flour. This is a recipe, okay, this is a recipe I've used a few times with varying success. Sometimes it was great, sometimes it was not great. Big old hole right in the middle of it, which I've learned, this is, as I said before, it does not take as long for fresh milled bread to rise as traditional flour. That being said, I'm gonna switch it up a bit. I'm making 2 large loaves, and the recipe calls for 8 cups of fresh milled flour. I'm gonna do 6 cups and 2 cups of all-purpose and see if I have a little bit better result. So I have my KitchenAid wheat berry grinder here ready. So I'm gonna go get my berries, and it's gonna take probably at least 4 cups of fresh wheat berries to make maybe 3 cups. 3 cups to make 6 cups. So I'm gonna get going on that. All of our flour is milled, and I have moved over to my Joe Deem mixer. This is a dupe of, I just lost the word, the big round mixer. Okay, my memory's gone. I will think of it in a minute, because Bosch, the Bosch mixer. This is a duplicate of it, much more budget friendly, and I have to say I really like it. Now, I've never tried the Bosch, I've never had a Bosch, so I don't know how it compares, but I do know I like this one. I will link it down below if you're interested. And I also added my 2 cups of all-purpose flour. So now, in this bowl, I have 1.5 cups of water, 1.5 cups of whole milk, 6 tablespoons of butter, and that's it, right? Yes, the butter, milk, and water. And I've just melted them all, okay? To that, we are going to add 6 tablespoons of sugar, right? Yes, and the egg. I'm just gonna wait a second. That's still pretty hot. I'm worried that's gonna cook the egg. I'm gonna let that cool for a second. Now, why am I moving over to this instead of using my KitchenAid? Well, a couple of reasons. One, the KitchenAid, after you've milled for any length of time, and that took a good 20 minutes, it's very, very hot. Like, it needs to cool down. That's one of the negatives with the KitchenAid. It's very hot. 2, this is a big batch of dough. This is going to make 2 bread loaves to fit this pan and this pan. So it's a lot of dough. And I like mixing it up better in this. It will hold it all. I can also use the ferment cycle to set this on like 70 something degrees, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's why we're moving over. That's one of the drawbacks with the KitchenAid. It gets very, very hot, and I'm gonna just let it cool down and go over to the one I prefer to use to make bread anyway. This is still really hot. I'm really worried. I know I could temper the eggs, but we're just gonna give that a minute to cool. All right, our milk, butter, sugar mixture is cool. I'm gonna add my 2 eggs. We're gonna mix this all up. And we're gonna add it to our flours here in the bowl. And this is where you are going to let the flour soak up all this liquid. That could be anywhere from 15 minutes up to 2 hours. Get these eggs broke. These are some strong yolks. There we go. Okay. All right, pour that in here. And we're gonna mix it up. One final mix, and then I'm going to cover it, and I'm just going to let this sit. I'll check on it, but I know this is going to take longer than 15 minutes to absorb. It's a lot of fresh milled flour. I just want to make sure everything's mixed. Okay, so we are going to cover that. And I'm just going to cancel the mixing. And we'll check on it. I'll check on it in an hour. I was gonna go get the avocado and put them in a jar and vacuum seal them. Some of them don't feel quite done, so I'm putting them back in for 2 hours, and we'll check on them then. So that means I can have a cup of tea now and rest before I tackle the next thing on my to-do list today. Okay, this has been resting and soaking up all the liquid before I went ahead and let it do the 2 hours. Now we are going to add our yeast. So we are going to add 4 teaspoons. Yes, 4 teaspoons to the dough. 1, 2, 3. Got to fill my little jar back up. 4. And we're going to mix this and knead it. This could take up to 25 minutes. Okay, that is done kneading. So now I'm going to cover it. I'm going to put ferment on, and we're going to let this go 1 to 2 hours. It typically takes 1 to 2 hours. I have the timer on 1.5, and I put the ferment on. So it's on about 70-ish degrees. So we're just going to set that aside. While that was kneading, I cut up 3 potatoes, and these were huge potatoes, and I cut them up small. And I want to clarify, it's not that I hate potatoes in beef stew. I love potatoes. I'm an Irish girl, you know, my Irish genes, they love potatoes. I can just take them or leave them. It doesn't like make or break the stew for me if there's no potatoes. So I know David likes them, and I want to make what he likes. So I'm adding them to the crock pot right now. It's about 12 o'clock. I also brought my starter over near here because the crock pot gives off quite a bit of heat. Okay, this up. Move this for a minute. Woo, hot. And add the potatoes. Avocado is done. And while I pack this in my jar, I'm going to share what I did a couple of weeks ago preparing these. These were avocados that Walmart had clearance because they were very, very ripe. And I mean very ripe. And I just got them home, and immediately, as soon as we got home, I cut them all up, put them onto my freeze dryer trays, put the lids on, and froze them. And they have been in the freezer for a little bit. Now, Harvest Right does recommend tossing them in a little bit of lime juice or lemon juice. I didn't do that. It was to prevent browning. I have to say, they don't look that bad. They don't look that bad at all to me. They're barely brown. just a couple of pieces. So you can do that if you want. I didn't feel the need to because they were going right to the freezer. Maybe the freezer will brown them a little bit, but I don't think it was worth that. I don't think it's so bad. Oh, come on. Just trying to get the last bit down. I don't think they're that brown, honestly, as you can see. So this was, trying to think of how many pounds. I think each bag was 3 pounds, so I think this was 6 pounds. Did I get 2 or 3 bags? I might have got 3 bags. It might be 9 pounds. I'll have to double check. But it was definitely at least 5 pounds of avocado and 1 large mason jar. I am going to take the air out of these. I have my lid here with my new label on it from my label maker Grace got me. I am loving that thing. I'm labeling everything. Perfect. That is just the right amount. And I primarily use this for guacamole. I add just the smallest amount of water to maybe a 1/4 cup of it. Add a little bit of water, let them absorb it, check on it, start mashing it up. If it mashes up easily, then I don't need to add any more water. And then I just blend them up like I would if it was fresh avocado. This is one of my favorite things to freeze dry because when, you know how expensive avocados are, and avocados are one of those weird things, you know, everyone talks about how, you know, it's not ripe, it's not ripe, it's not ripe, and it's rotten. Like you have like a very short window. These were very, very ripe. They didn't have much longer. And I believe it was, I want to say I paid about $2 a bag, which normally sometimes if they're not on sale, they can be anywhere from $6 to $7 a bag, maybe even more. I don't know because I don't really buy them when they're not on sale or on a deal. My vacuum sealer. I love this vacuum sealer. I've had this 3 or 4 years now, and I have had others sent to me to test, and I did not like them. That's why I didn't promote them. So we're just going to suck the air out of that. Take this off, check it. Yep. And there we go, shelf-stable avocado. This will last me a long time. I'm the only one who eats it, so this jar will last me well until the rest of this year, so I don't need to buy any more avocado. Yay me. It doubled. That took about an hour and a half. Probably a little less time, but I was busy doing something else and just lost track of the time when the timer went off. But yep, so we're at about an hour and a half. Divide this in half. Oh shoot, first I do want to spray, I'm going to spray my table here with some oil. Okay. We're going to divide this in half. I think I'm actually going to weigh it. That's what I prefer to do. We want 1,152 for both of mine. Set this one aside for a sec. Okay. So we're going to press these flat. And then we're going to roll it into a loaf shape. Squeeze this together. I have greased my pans with some butter. I'm going to put that one in there. And I decided to use this bread pan. This is actually my favorite bread pan. I don't use that other one as often. I'm going to try using it a couple of times, and if I don't like it, it might be going in the giveaway pile because, I don't know, I bought it because I wanted, oh, there's my oven. I bought it because I wanted my bread to be like the store-bought stuff where it was flat for sandwiches, but it's never worked right for me. So we're going to do a second one. Make sure we're even. And then I'm going to roll it. I just hope, now I'm second guessing myself because that's going to be quite large. I wonder if I should cut this in two. I think I'm gonna. And I do have another bread pan. I think I can fit that in. So I'm just gonna roll this out a little. Yes, that's much better. Okay, I'm gonna get another bread pan ready, and we are gonna cover these. And again, let these rise for another 40 to 50 minutes until they look puffy. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful looking? So I just checked the internal temperature. It's actually 195, needed to reach 190, so that is definitely done. That took, on the top of my oven, 40 minutes. I have the two smaller ones in the bottom oven. That tends to cook a lot quicker, so I'm gonna be checking them in just a couple of minutes. But oh, this is a couple of slices of this with butter tonight with our beef stew is going to be so yummy. To eat supper. The beef stew is done, and the starch from the potato thickened it beautifully. I'm not going to even add any flour, so we kind of have a soup. It's not quite a stew. Sorry, my camera's crooked. Not quite a stew, not quite a soup. The bread is really good. It's the same thing that always happens. It's very crumbly. Very delicate. Like, you have to be really careful spreading butter on it. The flavor's great, but it's still, so we'll be making more bread this week, I'm sure. I'm thinking I might do half fresh milled, half all-purpose, and we'll see how that gets. It looks good, it smells good. We got 3 loaves, so it will get 8, but I'll definitely be doing more experimenting. So, oh. And it has started to freeze and rain here, so hopefully we don't lose the power. At least it started a lot later than they said, so everything was done. We're ready as we can be. Hopefully we don't lose power, and if we do, it won't be for very long, I hope. I hate freeze and rain. See you back here tomorrow for day 7 of the Pantry Challenge.
Day 7, I decided to make one of our favorites, an apple crisp, to have not just for after supper tonight, but also to have for breakfast or a snack throughout the week. And these apples were in my freezer, and I grabbed just 4.5 cups. And I don't know what I was thinking, because I was using my large casserole dish, and it needs much more than 4.5 cups, which I realize here in just a few minutes. And so I went and got another bag that was frozen. So that's 2 bags of apples out of our freezer. And I don't necessarily use a recipe. The last recipe I used when I made some make-ahead meals a few months ago, I shared with you, that apple crisp was insanely sweet. We did not care for it. It was so sweet. This way I can control the sugar, though you'll see here, I forget some brown sugar on the top, which I will fix later on. You'll see that in a little bit. But David really, really liked this. I really liked this. Grace really liked it. It was not too sweet. It was just sweet enough. The apples were very sweet. And it was delicious. It really was. I never seem to make apple crisp the same way twice. And honestly, my favorite way to eat this is having some plain Greek yogurt on top. It is so delicious, and it adds some protein too, especially if I have this for breakfast. So just going to get this put in the casserole dish, get the topping mixed up, and put it in the oven. Baked it at 350 for, I think this was in here for a half hour, so it took a little bit for those frozen apples to cook, but it was really good. It was just what the doctor ordered on these cold weeknights we've been having.
Day 7 of the Pantry Challenge, and it's going to be an easy dinner. We're actually using the air fryer. Buttermilk chicken strips, all white meat. We picked these up. I got these before Christmas, actually. With the cost of meat and everything, it's actually cheaper for us to buy them, and they're made with really good ingredients, so I don't mind buying them. They are my favorite. I love them. And I think David put some waffle fries or something in there. He started supper tonight. I have found one of the ways to make this a successful pantry challenge, if you're thinking about doing one for the first time, is if a couple, like we tend to have theme night. So Tuesday is usually some kind of taco or quesadilla, or we call it Taco Tuesday, but it can be anything in that realm of meals. Wednesday typically tends to be breakfast, and yes, it is Wednesday, and I was gonna do breakfast, but this just sounded better to me tonight, so we're actually gonna flip the script and have breakfast tomorrow night, which means my bacon is already cooking now, which is perfect, because it'll be all ready for tomorrow, and tomorrow will give me, it's been a little bit of a, it hasn't been hectic, it's just been a long day. I'm not sleeping well, so it makes the days long, and I'm doing some things for my other channel all day today, so that's why we're kind of flipping it, and I feel like having these chicken strips. I've been craving them for a couple of days, so that's why we're having them. Sugar, I think I meant to do brown sugar, and I think I end up doing cane sugar on top. Did I do sugar? No, I did not put sugar. I just tasted the top of that, and that has no sweetness in it whatsoever, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar on top. It'll be fine, I think. Here it is done without the sugar. Did I tell you it was a long day? I knew it. I just got to thinking, I don't remember digging out the brown sugar for that. I'll just sprinkle a little bit on top and we'll be good. And we'll probably have that a little bit with supper tonight, and it's also breakfast for tomorrow. So that's it for tonight. Just easy peasy and, you know, not thinking too hard. For day 8 of the pantry challenge, very simple meal. Scrambled eggs with some ham that I took out of the freezer. We had ham like in October, and I cut up the leftovers and froze them in individual bags. Usually I use them for pizza topping, but I thought, ooh, we'll make sort of an omelet. It's not really. Scrambled eggs with ham thrown in. David's just getting our toast ready from the homemade bread I made the other night, and we're gonna have tea with it and have like a truly breakfast for supper. I wish it was more exciting, but I think 95% of families are eating like this. It's not always elaborate. It's not always a new recipe. It's not always something fancy, especially this month, this time of year. It's cold, it gets dark so early. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm even in my lounge suit all day. Like, yeah. So that's what we're having for supper, and you'll have to let me know down in the comments. Do you often have breakfast for supper? And if you do, what do you have? Give me some ideas. I decided not to do the pancakes because we're trying to do a little bit low carb. We are having that homemade bread, but I didn't feel like having all those carbs tonight. So tomorrow night is another experiment with the pizza. We're gonna try doing some more milled flour. We're gonna try. I have to remember, I think I only did 1 cup last week. We'll try more, but we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 9. Friday night and day 9 of the pantry challenge, and I'm doing something a little bit different than I did last week when I tried the fresh milled flour in the pizza. I am going to add the liquid to the flour and let it absorb for like 15 minutes, like I did with the bread earlier this week, and I'm wondering if that's gonna help. I've also done 1.5 cups. I'm looking for my, found it. I added 1.5 cups of flour this week, and I'm still gonna add 3 cups of regular flour. So that is 4.5 cups of flour total. 2. Okay. And I do have my yeast in here too. I hope that's not going to change anything. I was kind of on automatic pilot, you know, when I make this. I always add the yeast to the water and let it sit for a few minutes, but we are going to add, before we add the oil and everything, I'm just going to add the yeast with the water. And I am using my Jodine mixer. And we're just going to let that sit. Maybe I'll mix it up just a little bit. And I'm going to add a little more water. I had to do that last week too, so I'm going to add a little more water, let it sit, and then I'll get my oil ready to go in about 15 minutes. I let that sit for the 15 minutes to absorb it. I'm just going to add the 3rd cup of oil now, mix it up, and then let it rise like normal, probably for about an hour. Okay, so I did 1.5 cups fresh milled flour this week. I let it soak. Next week I will not add the yeast. I'll just add the liquid and then the yeast. We'll see how that goes. Or I'll hold back a little bit of liquid for the, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. But it looks amazing. I don't know if you can't really tell. That's the bottom of it. It has really nice color. So yes, I'm using a fork because it's really hot. So I'm gonna try and cool it down a bit. You already took a bite. What do you think? That's better than last week. The dough felt better when I was rolling it out and everything. That's better than last week's. Last week's was good, but this is maybe I might be onto something here. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I think that turned out really well. And I can show you the side view of the pizza. That's really good. I think I figured it out. We'll see you here tomorrow for day 10 of the Pantry Challenge. Day 10 of the Pantry Challenge. One of my favorite suppers. One of my favorite meals. I eat this for supper, I eat this for lunch. So I'm making a lot of it so I can freeze it into individual containers and have it later, probably honestly, next week for lunches. And that's chicken fried rice. Love it, love it, love it. And what I really love is last time I made it, I made extra rice and we froze them. So the rice is already done. I also, to make things a little bit easier, I also use my good old Kirkland Costco brand organic mixed veggies frozen bag. I love them. We might be doing a Costco run at the end of the month. I know, it's Pantry Challenge, literally like the last day or even the 1st of February, because there are some things that we didn't realize how low we were on, and just pricing some things today at the grocery store. We did go out and I got some yogurt and we got some milk, and David bought himself some Swiss cheese, and that's all we bought. That's it. I'm sorry, I did buy a bag of coleslaw for tomorrow's night's supper because it is a new recipe and I really want to make this, so I did buy a bag of that. By the way, that was insanely expensive. What I thought was expensive, it was like $5. I think that seemed high to me. Anyway, I can't remember. Oh yeah, so we might be doing a Costco run. Grace has also told us she's out of some things, so we might be doing a small Costco run. Like I said, if I can get some things on a better deal to stock up, I'm going to do it. So we'll see how the next few weeks go. But I'm really proud of me. So far, we have spent less than $50 this month on groceries, and it's the 10th. So I think that's pretty good. There we go. I just turned on another light to see if that would help. It might be a little noisy, so I'm going to apologize. The dryer, which is right over here off our kitchen, that is running, and David is working upstairs on the floor. So, as I said, I already got my rice cooked, but I need to heat it up and get it toasted. I like ours a little toasted. I'm going to actually do this in the oven to save some room and time. I can get other things cooking while this is going in the oven. So I am going to use both of these containers because, like I said, I want more. I want extra for later. So I'm just going to, so I have the oven on 350. I am going to toss this with some sesame oil. And I didn't realize how low I was getting on the sesame oil either. We're actually not using the cast iron pan. That was from last night's pizza. And I'm going to put this in my oven all done. Okay, yeah, it's preheated. And we're just going to put that in and let it toast for a few minutes. Keeping an eye on it. I don't think it's going to take long, but one of the things that David and I got each other for Christmas was 2 new frying pans. Our other ceramic ones were in terrible shape. Everything was sticking. And as much as I love my cast iron for pizza, I don't always like it for cooking everything. I'm sure it's me. I'm doing something wrong. I just hit a button, so something's happened to the exposure here. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, of cooking in it. I'm having a hard time getting, especially eggs. I don't mind cooking other things. And honestly, if I had a big enough cast iron, I would probably cook everything in this tonight. But that's my biggest, and this new frying pan is the biggest. The same brand as our pots, Paderno. It's actually made here in Canada in PEI. These were on sale at Christmas time. That's why we finally got them. We got this one in the smaller frying pan, and I love it. I have to say, I'm definitely loving it. So I just realized I have to get the chicken breast out of the fridge. They're all thawed. We're going to cut them up into smaller strips. I'm going to get this heating up a little bit, and we're going to fry up the chicken first. a bowl so we can get started on cooking the vegetables. And I'm going to add just a little bit more soy sauce to them. So I'm going to let those cook for about 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how long it takes them to just start cooking. And the vegetables are cooked quite a bit. We're going to toss the chicken back in and my minced garlic and ginger. Normally I would have put the rice in with the pan, but I just got busy doing a million other things. So good. But I was too anxious to try it. Yeah, normally I would put the rice in with the pan and add a little more soy sauce, but I'm glad I didn't, because that's the one thing I've been experimenting with, is trying to get enough soy sauce, but not too much. I think I finally did it. This is truly one of my favorite meals. It's so simple, really fills you up. And I don't have as much as I thought I was gonna. I was thinking when I make this and freeze it, I use 4 to 6 chicken breasts and a lot more rice and a lot more vegetables, a lot more everything, but that's okay. There's enough there for lunch tomorrow. So Dave and I are gonna go eat, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 11 and a new recipe I'm trying. It's so good. Day 11, and it's a Sunday, so I am going to get some prep done for the week. I'm going to make some blueberry muffins today, and I'm also going to make some homemade granola to have with my yogurt this week. I'm completely out of store-bought granola, which is fine. That's what I want. I want to be starting to make my own again. And I am concentrating still. I don't even think I mentioned it yet in this video, but this week was about concentrating on some things in the freezer, and I have gotten a lot of things out of the freezer. This morning, I didn't record it, but for breakfast this morning, I made David and I a hash using potatoes O'Brien. I have a couple bags of those in the freezer, and I wanted to start getting through those. So we used 2 bags of them. I had some leftover bacon, scrambled up a couple eggs, threw it all together, and very filling, yummy hash for breakfast. So I managed to get through that. Last night's supper, we used some more of the vegetables from the freezer. We used some chicken breasts from the freezer. I think that was it from the freezer. So we've been going through a lot of things in the freezer, and I'm going to keep that going probably into this starting of this 3rd week, which you're still seeing these videos. You'll see one more video for this set of videos this week, but we're still going to concentrate on the freezer, and I'm going to start getting some more things from my shelf, my baking shelf. Things like I have a lot of chocolate chips. I have so many chocolate chips. So I know the price went up, and I was buying them when they were still low. That's why I have so many, but now we need to start using those. And I have a lot in the freezer, so we're going to start going through the ones on the shelf first for them. I have a big tub of coconut oil that I forgot I bought, so I want to get through that. So yeah, we're going to do some things today. So first we're going to make the granola. And this is literally, I just went around to see what I had that I'm going to throw together for this granola. So obviously I'm going to use some quick cooking oats. So I'm going to do about 3 cups of that. My oven is preheating to 300 degrees. Probably already there. Yep, it's there. So we have roughly 3 cups of quick cooking oats, and that's all I have left for the quick cooking oats. And then I have a lot of oat groats I really need to get through. So let me know down in the comments if you have any ideas on what I have a few ideas of what I'm going to do with those oat groats, but if you have any, please share so I can maybe, I have quite a few to get through that I need to get. I ordered them. They weren't what I wanted. I ordered the wrong thing, so that's why I got to use them. But okay, 3 cups of quick cooking oats. I have about a 1/4 cup of honey here. I did heat it up just a little bit so it will pour out of here a lot easier. I'm using honey rather than maple syrup. I like honey with my granola, but I have more honey right now than I do maple syrup. So I'm kind of want to hang on to my maple syrup. Okay. Oh, we got a little bit more here. Might as well get out every bit of it. Okay, and then I have a 1/4 cup of coconut oil that I also melted just to make it easier to stir up. We're going to stir this. And then I'm going to add, I might end up adding another 1/4 cup of coconut oil. We'll see. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of these pistachios because I have a lot of them. I also have cashews and pecans, but I love pistachios with my yogurt and granola. It is so yummy. These are the roasted ones, so it adds a little bit of the salt to them, to the sweetness. So I love sweet and salty. Okay, we're going to add that. I also have quite a bit of unsweetened coconut from Christmas that I did not use. So I want to add probably a 1/4 to 1/2 cup of that. And I still have a lot of that to go through. And last, cocoa nibs. I have a lot of cocoa nibs to get through, and I love them with my yogurt. They're delicious. And if you're wondering what cocoa nibs are, I'm going to put it right here. They're delicious, and they actually have a lot more chocolate flavor than even chocolate chips. They're unsweetened, so there's no added sugar in them, and they are so, so good for you. So that's what cocoa nibs are. It should be right here. I decided to add another 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil. It was still a little dry. So I'm just going to spread this on cookie sheet, and this is only going to bake for, anywhere up to 20 minutes. I'll probably start around 8 or 10 and see how it does. Next is the blueberry muffins, and I just checked on the granola. I stirred it, lowered the temperature to 250, and put it back in for another 10 minutes just because of the already roasted pistachios. I don't want them to get burnt, so I just lowered the temperature, but I can start to smell it, so I know it's just about ready. Smells amazing. These muffins, blueberry muffins specifically, I've been making for a little over a year now. We love them. This is the best recipe I have found. I will link it down below. I think it's because it uses brown sugar too, and is it brown? Oh wait, brown sugar might be just on the top. Hold on. No, it's in the, I don't do the topping. I will say that. We're not a fan of topping on top of our muffins. But it uses brown sugar, and it also uses sour cream or plain yogurt. And it seems like any baked quick bread, banana bread, muffins, anything like that that I use vanilla or yogurt or sour cream with, they turn out amazing. So there's obviously, the secret is the sour cream or yogurt. So I am going to use my KitchenAid mixer just because I do have to blend up a few things first. So we are going to use, what is this? This is a 1/2 cup of softened butter. That's going in. Here, I'm going to take this off for a second. 1/2 cup of, and I am using salted butter. There's my spoon. I was looking for that. And I'm not going to use salt in the recipe just because all I have now is salted butter. I stopped buying the different salted and unsalted, and I just don't add salt to any recipe that calls for it, and it's been fine. Okay, so we're going to do the butter. We're also going to add our sugar. So we're going to add a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. I need a measuring cup. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and I'm using organic cane sugar. So 1/2 cup of that to the butter. And a 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. I have coconut oil on this measuring cup. That's why I don't want to scoop up and contaminate the sugar with that. So I think my spoon just broke. It did. I'll be darned. Okay. There's 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. So we're going to mix those up on medium speed until they're creamy, and then we'll add our eggs and the sour cream. I just realized I need to get out milk and also vanilla. Now we're going to add 2 large eggs one at a time. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of sour cream. I think that's what I have left here. It might be a little short of it, but this is what I have left. And I do need to use it. So we're also going to add our vanilla. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of that. Okay, that is all mixed. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients. So to this, we are going to add a teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder. And of course, I just used my teaspoon. Okay, this is a half teaspoon, so I need to remember that. So it's a teaspoon each. So half, there's 1 teaspoon. 1 3/4 cups of flour. I'm gonna do 1. And 3/4. And we're not adding the salt because my butter has salt. 1/4 cup of milk. Okay, and now I'm going to add my frozen blueberries. They have been thawing for a little bit. They're probably still a little frozen. Yeah, but not too bad. Okay, I'm just going to stir those in. Oh, this batter's beautiful. And, oh, my granola is about ready to come out. Give those a stir. And I got some coconut oil in my muffin pans and spread it all around. And I have my oven now preheating to 450. I'm going to cook them on really high, or bake them really high for 5 minutes, and then lower the temperature. The high heat helps them get really nice and big, and I love that. Okay, that is done. All right, I'm gonna, while my oven's heating up, I'm just gonna put away some of this so I can actually have room to fill these muffin pans. Muffins went in 450 for 5 minutes. I lowered it to 350 and I put it on for 9. I'll check on them and see if they're done, but this smells so, so good. I'm just gonna try a little. Oh yes, nice and crispy. Mmm. That is so yummy. So yummy. And just not too sweet. I'm just gonna let it cool a little bit. I'm gonna put it in one of my airtight containers, and I'll have granola, honestly, for more than a week. This is a couple weeks worth, but it is so yummy. So, so yummy. That turned out really good. I'm really happy with that. So we're just gonna let it cool. It's still a little warm. That's it for this morning. Time for a cup of tea, maybe a little crochet, and we'll see you back here for supper tonight. New recipe we're trying. I'm pretty excited about it. Supper time, and it's okay. David's putting away some dishes. Been so busy today, we had to run the dishwasher once already today, so he's just unloading it. So if you hear any clanking, that's what you're hearing. But I'm never gonna stop anybody from doing a chore. Today, it is a new recipe. This is a cookbook my mom bought me from Ollie's. I'm really liking it. I really enjoy the taste of home recipes and cookbooks. I have several magazines and I have several of their cookbooks, and I really like them. But I'm just going to turn on my oven here. I have I would say we have like a 97% success rate whenever we use their recipes. I will say sometimes I change them up a bit because they may use ingredients that aren't the cleanest, or something I prefer to make myself versus buying a bottled sauce or something. Hence one of the ingredients tonight. But we are going to be making Asian beef and noodles. It sounds so yummy. Even David looked at the recipe and he said, oh, that looks good. I said, yeah, I thought so. So one of the things I had to make was teriyaki sauce. That is one of the ingredients you're going to need. And I don't buy teriyaki sauce. I always make my own, especially at the Pantry Challenge. I definitely have to make my own. Very simple. In a saucepan, I put 1 cup of water, 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce, 3 teaspoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon-ish of honey. I think that was everything. I'm just trying to think. Was that everything? I heat that up till it's thoroughly heated, and then I add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and a 1/4 cup of water. I add that to the cornstarch, make sure it's all mixed in, add it, and cook it till it's thick. And that's it. That's all you need. So, I need to toss my beef strips. Funny thing, you know that beef stew I made Monday? And I said, I thought I had cubes for this, but I guess I was wrong. No, I wasn't wrong. I had cubes. This was supposed to be for the beef stew, and the strips that I used for the beef stew was supposed to be for this supper, but I just cut them in a little bit smaller pieces. And yeah, I wasn't wrong. I knew I had them. So I am just going to toss this. It's about a poundish of the stew beef. I'm going to toss it with 2 tablespoons of this teriyaki sauce. And yes, I have more than I need here. I think total recipe, you're gonna need 6 tablespoons. So we're just gonna toss that, let it sit for a minute while my pots all come up. I forgot to turn on the other burner. Okay. That's gonna sit for a minute. The recipe uses spaghetti, which David definitely likes. So I'm getting my water just boiling here for the spaghetti, and we are going to go ahead and start tossing, or browning rather, our beef. So this recipe feeds 4, which is perfect. It gives David lunch this week, and I'm going to be using 8 ounces of spaghetti. Oil. And we're going to add this. This is broccoli crunch. This was the closest I could find to broccoli coleslaw that the recipe calls for, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar. And we want to add, I think it's 2 more tablespoons of teriyaki sauce. Oh. No, we don't. We don't add that until we add the spaghetti. So we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes, which is what the spaghetti has left. So I did good. I timed that perfectly. Wasn't on purpose, I assure you. Okay. All right, the spaghetti is done, so we are going to add that to our vegetables and add 2 more tablespoons of our teriyaki sauce. Toss it, cook it, make sure it's all coated, and then we add the beef, heat it up again just for a couple minutes, and then we are ready to try this. Okay. 2 more tablespoons of teriyaki sauce. 1 and 2. That's what it looks like. I got all the broccoli. David's not a fan of it. So he's got a couple little pieces in there so he can, like he said, it's got teriyaki sauce and it's kind of hidden by the pasta. So we need some of the pasta, some of the beef, and a piece of the slaw here. Hard to get it all in one fork.
Ready?
It's good, but I think it could have had more sauce.
It was a little bland.
I might gotta add more sauce, just a second. I literally added the rest. I put a little bit of sauce left on each plate, and then I dumped the rest of it into the pan with the leftovers. So let's see if this is better. Honestly, I think it's almost too much noodles too. It's a lot of spaghetti. All together, that was probably about a cup of teriyaki sauce I made, give or take, a little less maybe. No, it was about a cup, and I ended up using all of it. So that's the one thing I would change with this, and I think I'd add less pasta. It's a lot of pasta. I think this would be really good over rice. Not bad. I have a 10, an 8. Not something I'd be dying to make again, but we will definitely eat it all.
Oh, it's okay.
All right. We'll see you here tomorrow for the last day of this set of videos for the Pantry Challenge. Day 12, and I realized before we get to supper, I didn't even show you how the muffins turned out yesterday. So we've already ate, as you can see, some of them. These truly, they were some of the best I've made in a while. They turned out amazing. So those were really good. And for breakfast this morning, I had some yogurt with my homemade granola, equally as yummy. Tonight we're going to be doing fish, and Gracie's is going to get baked in the oven. She loves haddock, but she doesn't like when I deep fry it. She prefers it either plain, or she doesn't mind breadcrumbs, but she's not a big batter person. That's what it is, right, Grace? Yeah, she doesn't like the batter. David and I, on the other hand, we're true Downeasters. We like our battered fish. So I've decided to do our fishes as a whole fillet tonight instead of cutting them up, just because it has been a busy day. I have been filming for so many different things and editing, doing a lot of sitting at the desk. And yeah, I'm gonna do it that way tonight. And I asked David, and he said, yeah, it sounded good to him. So we're gonna get started on that. And before I do, I just wanna go over a few things we have taken out of the freezer these last 6 days. Are you ready? So we have taken out 1 package of beef strips and roughly 3 cups of frozen vegetables, 2 bags of apples, and a bag of waffle fries, 2 bags of diced up ham, a bag of cheese, 2 chicken breasts, and 2 containers of rice, and another 2 cups of vegetables, and 2 bags of potato O'Brien, and a container of blueberries. And tonight we're getting 3 fish fillets taken out, and also to go with them, I took out the last 3 stuffed potatoes, baked potatoes that I had done a while ago. We had 3 left, so I just took out the 3, and we have to heat them up, and that's supper tonight. So that is a lot out of the freezer, I think, in the last 6 days. As I said, going forward, this continuing week, I will be doing more things out of the freezer. So, okay, we're gonna make our batter for our fish. I'm gonna get the oil heating up. I'm also gonna get an apron on. I love eating the fish like this. I don't like necessarily cooking it because it's messy. I hate the mess and having to drain the oil. I'm now starting to second guess if I'm going to batter this. I've decided I'm not battering it. I don't want the mess. I have another it's a busy week. I'm gonna be out of the house a few days, so I'm so glad I took the time to meal plan for this week. One of those days is tomorrow, and I need to get ready to be gone all day for that tomorrow. So I just don't feel like having this big mess I'm gonna have to spend a while cleaning up. So I think I might just do baked fish for us too. I'm debating about breading it. But anyway, I also wanted to say that we've also so far saved $200 by not going to the grocery store for a lot of things we normally would be. And there haven't been any sales, so I haven't really been able to show you anything because there hasn't been any deals. Okay, I know David's hungry. We're eating a little bit later because I was editing and lost track of time. So yeah, we're just gonna put it in the oven. I have, however, been letting, even though I'm not going to be frying it, we still like to drain off as much liquid. So this has been sitting here for about an hour. It's still cold, don't worry. These paper towels are soaking wet. So I'm gonna take them off this, put some parchment on, sprinkle some salt, get the potatoes out, and we're gonna go. These are the stuffed baked potatoes I made a couple months ago and froze them. It's just potato, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and butter, I think. It's been a while since I made them, and I never make them the same way twice. There is supper for tonight. Didn't even feel like doing another vegetable. We're just gonna have the potato and the fish. And then if we want a little snack of like some cashews and crackers and cheese later, that's probably what we'll do. And that wraps up day 6 through 12 of the Three Rivers Homestead Pantry Challenge. How are you all doing? Those of you that are participating. You still going strong? Are you finding things difficult? Or have you found any surprises? Also let me know down in the comments if you are participating, how much have you saved already? It boggles my mind that we've already saved about $200 because that's roughly what David and I spend, give or take. every 2 weeks, and we're almost at the end of the second week. So, and I don't really foresee having to get a whole lot in the next 2 weeks. So I'm pretty excited to see how much we're saving on groceries this month. And I'm thinking about taking this even further. I might see how far we can go before I have to do a major grocery haul. We'll see. We'll see. Until then, friends, take care, God bless, and we'll see y'all soon.